Hey everyone, and welcome to the AI Tech channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's not just about technology, but about communities, economies, and the very definition of progress. Imagine living in a place where the roads are perfect, the schools are brand new, and the economy is booming. Sounds like paradise, right? But what if that paradise came at a cost? What if the price of progress was the peace and quiet of your home, the beauty of your landscape, and the very fabric of your community? That's the reality facing residents of Loudoun County, Virginia, and it's a story that should make us all think twice about the relentless march of technology. In fact, some residents are saying the data centers are downright ruining their quality of life. We're talking about a place nicknamed Data Center Alley, where the economy is hyper-dependent on these massive server farms. But at what cost? Stay tuned, because we're about to unpack this complex situation and explore the potential solutions. The data is truly shocking. Loudoun County, Virginia, a place where potholes are practically non-existent. The roads are freshly paved, the schools are state-of-the-art, and it's all thanks to the tax revenue generated by the roughly 200 data centers that dominate the landscape. Buddy Reiser, the county's economic development director, puts it bluntly. These data centers have completely transformed their economy from a struggling one to one of the strongest in the entire country. Over the past 2 decades, he's been instrumental in attracting these centers, capitalizing on the existing infrastructure left behind by AOL. And it's not just about the past. The demand for these data centers is exploding, driven by the insatiable need for artificial intelligence to process and store vast amounts of digital information. We're talking about colossal amounts of power and water being consumed to keep these servers cool. One market research group predicts that capital spending on data centers worldwide will skyrocket to over $1 trillion annually by 2029. That's a mind-blowing figure, and it underscores the sheer scale of this industry. But this economic boom comes with a significant trade-off. The landscape of Loudoun County has been irrevocably altered. Industrial-strength transmission lines now crisscross the area, causing power consumption to soar by a staggering 240% in just 5 years, according to county data. These aren't just minor changes, they're fundamental shifts in the environment. A single data center building consumes as much power as an entire city, according to Julie Bolthouse, Director of Land Use for the Piedmont Environmental Council. She advocates for those living near this booming industry, highlighting how a recreational trail that once felt rural is now overshadowed by a massive data center. This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about the very fabric of the community. As Bolthouse aptly asks, once you start to deteriorate the community to the point where you're pushing people out, what is the value of that tax revenue anymore? It's a question that cuts to the heart of the matter. We need to think about the long-term consequences of this rapid development. But it's not just the environment, it's the community too. The noise levels are a real problem. Ben Kiefler, a Loudoun County resident, bought his home in 2014 because of its stunning views of bucolic farmland. Now, that same view includes a boxy data center under construction. And it's not just one data center. There are over 100 new ones on the way. Kiefler, who owns an IT company and whose livelihood depends on these very data centers, admits to a growing sense of unease. He doesn't mind driving through an industrial zone where these facilities are situated properly, but when they start to encroach directly on your community, you can't just ignore it. Northern Virginia is home to the highest concentration of data centers in the world, and while Loudoun officials tout the benefits, pointing out that the centers generate a third of the county budget on just 3% of the land, even Buddy Reiser, the economic development director, admits to regrets. He acknowledges that, in hindsight, they would have done things differently, especially in instances where land has gotten too close to residential areas. This isn't just about property values or scenic views. It's about the quality of life for the people who call Loudoun County home. The pursuit of balance is key here. It's not just the visual impact of these data centers that's causing concern. Residents are also complaining about the constant, eerie hum emanating from these facilities. Stephanie Brooks, who moved her family to Loudoun County in 2021, describes the noise as something that got louder at night. She initially thought it was someone doing lawn work constantly, but eventually discovered it was coming from the True North data center built by Compass Data Centers. This noise, described by residents as sounding like a propeller, a loud drone, a big fan, or even an airplane engine, is causing significant disruption. Public health experts warn that as more data centers are built, these noise complaints will become more common. Les Blomberg, the founder of the Noise Pollution Clearinghouse, says he's heard similar complaints from residents in Virginia and New York, both states with large data center sites. The noise pollution is a serious concern, affecting sleep, mental health, and overall quality of life. Even residents several miles away from the facility are complaining. The noise is constant. Interestingly, the noise issues are linked to the type of cooling technology used in these new data centers. Unlike older facilities, the newer ones employ so-called free air cooling, which leverages lower temperatures to reduce electricity consumption. However, this technology comes with a trade-off. When the temperature is above 70 degrees, the data centers are relatively quiet. But as the temperature drops, the fans kick in to blow in the cooler air, and the noise levels increase dramatically, peaking around 50 degrees. Below 35 degrees, the cooling needs are reduced, and the noise subsides somewhat. This means that residents are particularly affected during the cooler months, when they're more likely to have their windows closed and be spending more time indoors. It's a classic example of unintended consequences. While the free air cooling system is designed to be more energy efficient, it's creating a whole new set of problems for the surrounding community. This is a classic engineering trade-off. One solution introduces another problem. Faced with these challenges, residents are starting to organize and take action. Jeff Mock, for example, has been gathering feedback about the noise and bringing it to the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors and various nonprofits. He describes the noise as an artificial noise that just drove people crazy, adding that it would go through walls and reach out far. Compass Data Centers, for its part, claims to have measured the noise levels and found them to be below the county's 55 decibel threshold. However, residents argue that even if the noise isn't technically loud, the constant exposure is still incredibly disruptive, especially at night. This issue is not just about decibel levels. Noise pollution clearinghouse expert Blomberg explains that the key difference between typical neighborhood noises and data center noise is its persistence. He says, "What's different about data centers is the flow of noise is just one way and it's 24/7. It doesn't stop. There's no escaping it." Brooks, the resident we heard from earlier, says the noise has gotten so bad that she may not want to live in Loudoun County anymore. The good news is that Loudoun County is starting to address these concerns. Starting this winter, the county plans to amend zoning ordinances and implement design standards for new data centers, with a focus on muffling the sound. Supervisor Mike Turner expects this process to take about 15 months. However, any changes would only affect data centers built in the future. This means that residents living near existing data centers may not see immediate relief. But this is not a simple fix. Blomberg from Noise Pollution Clearinghouse emphasizes that the key to preventing these issues is better planning, such as building data centers further away from residential areas and acoustically treating those that are close by. In short, Loudoun County is trying to find a way to balance its economic dependence on data centers with the need to protect the quality of life for its residents. This is a complex challenge with no easy answers. It's going to take a concerted effort from both the county and the data center industry to find a sustainable solution. We need to get this right. Let's dive a bit deeper into the technical aspects of this issue. One key concept here is acoustic impedance. This refers to how much resistance a material offers to the passage of sound waves. Data centers often have large, flat surfaces that can act as soundboards, amplifying noise. Understanding and managing acoustic impedance is crucial for mitigating noise pollution. Another important factor is frequency. Lower frequency sounds, like the hum often associated with data centers, are particularly difficult to block because they can travel through walls and other barriers more easily than higher frequency sounds. This is why residents often describe the noise as penetrating or vibrating. Finally, sound masking is a technique that involves introducing a background sound to cover up or reduce the perception of unwanted noises. While this might seem like a simple solution, it can be tricky to implement effectively in residential areas without creating new sources of annoyance. In fact, a 2018 study published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America found that poorly designed sound masking systems can actually increase stress levels. It is important to get this right. We need scientific solutions to solve the problem. The core of this problem lies in two fundamentally different perspectives. On one hand, you have the economic argument. Data centers generate significant tax revenue, which funds essential services like schools, roads, and public safety. Proponents argue that these benefits outweigh the negative impacts of noise and visual intrusion. They might say that a few inconvenienced residents are a small price to pay for a thriving economy. On the other hand, you have the community argument. Residents argue that their quality of life is being sacrificed for the sake of economic growth. They point to the negative impacts on their health, sleep, and property values. They might argue that the county is prioritizing profits over people. There are ways to verify these arguments. For example, property value changes can be tracked and correlated with the proximity to data centers. Health surveys can be conducted to assess the impact of noise pollution on residents' well-being. These data-driven approaches can help to inform policy decisions and find solutions that address the concerns of both sides. It's about more than just money. People are struggling. So what are the potential solutions? First, stricter zoning regulations are essential. This means creating buffer zones between data centers and residential areas, and limiting the size and density of data centers in certain locations. Second, investing in noise mitigation technologies is crucial. This could include using sound-absorbing materials in data center construction, installing noise barriers, and implementing advanced cooling systems that generate less noise. Third, engaging in open communication with the community is vital. This means holding public forums to discuss concerns, providing residents with information about data center operations, and being responsive to complaints. Fourth, exploring alternative energy sources could help to reduce the environmental impact of data centers. This could include using renewable energy sources like solar and wind power and implementing more efficient cooling systems that use less water. Finally, diversifying the local economy could reduce Loudoun County's dependence on data centers. This could involve attracting new businesses and industries that are less environmentally intensive and more compatible with residential areas. These are just the start. We need more ideas. The situation in Loudoun County is a microcosm of a larger trend. As the demand for data continues to grow, more and more communities will be grappling with the challenges of balancing economic development with quality of life. The decisions made in Loudoun County will have far-reaching implications for other communities facing similar challenges. Will they prioritize economic growth at all costs? Or will they find a way to create a sustainable balance that protects the environment and the well-being of their residents? The answer to this question will shape the future of our communities and our relationship with technology. This is not just a local issue. It's a global issue. So what do you think? Should data centers be allowed to operate so close to residential areas? What steps can be taken to mitigate the negative impacts of noise and environmental pollution? Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the AI Tech channel for more insights and analysis on the latest trends in technology. We need your input.